Hello and welcome to Supreme Commander Forge Alliance Forever. This is a ladder match between Zlo 2100, UEF, Red, and in the blue also UEF, Spaceman, Space4man. So first land, the map is Dragon River, a map we may not see in ladder again. These mountains are a problem, especially for torpedo bombers. But I don't know if that's going to affect this game. But yeah, so we have a lot of mass here on this map. Lots of reclaims to be grabbed. Here's more rocks. Here's more rocks, and there's going to be engineers sent out to those, and Spaceman is of course aware of this, and he's planning ahead, planning to ruin Zlo's day, or at least his engineers' day, by killing them with labs before they get to suck up all the rocks. Now you're quite far away from the opponent, so we'll see how well these labs do. They're gonna have to rush across. They're the first two labs, so it's quite an investment. And oh, Spaceman now walking this direction, not going towards the hydrocarbon. So I hope he has a lot of engineers queued. He does, only engineers. It's going to be pretty necessary if you're walking 10 build power around. So maybe not the most ideal build order here, but not the worst either, I would say. Zlo's already finished his hydro and starting his second factory. And he's making a couple tanks. So let's see where those labs are. Still not that far down the map, you see. So they're a little slow, even though they're as fast as they could possibly be. But maybe they can do some damage. Zlo now getting his third land factory, no air. So Spaceman, ooh, still working on his second air factory. You can see quite a few resources in the bank. And he hasn't taken this reclaim that's right next to him. He's scouting. He has a transport plan, but only after quite a few interceptors. Planning quite far into the future there with that build queue. Only now is Zlo building an air factory. It's very risky on this map. Don't want to take early bomber damage because you need a lot of build power to use all of this reclaim. And if, say, well, you could imagine if a bomber had hit these engineers, it would deny a reclaim and the hydrocarbon, because these engineers are headed in these directions, and also towards the expansion. The transport that Spaceman's planned is going for probably here, but also could be used aggressively to drop units and engineers on the other side of the map. But I expect it's for this expansion, which is quite far away thanks to this land in the way. The terrain, that's one engineer killed and some dodging, but only one engineer killed. On the other side, well, this lab has a scout to help it out, but he's been triangulated by these tanks, and the scout takes out the scout, and then he's going to go down quickly to the striker. 3 shots. And it's dead. T2MX was started and paused, unfortunately. That's sad. Need more reclaim to fund it. This rock has been missed, and this reclaim is quite late to this reclaim, I would say. Zlo working on it now. Now, if he got that reclaim a bit sooner, definitely could have been paying for that T2MX that he'd started. So, what's Zlo up to? Well, he has 2 T2MXs on the way, and he's also going T2 air already. 5 minutes in, and he's a third of the way through that upgrade, with quite a bit of assistance. And he actually has the power for it because he's already finished both hydrocarbons. Spaceman has not finished either of these or this third one. One of the features of this map, you get 5 hydrocarbons. That's 500 power. at an extreme efficiency in comparison to what's available with T1 power generators. So Spaceman not making the most of that. That means he's going to be inefficient, and once he does build the Hydras, he's going to have way too much power because he already has 16 T1 P-gens. Zlo, you can see total P-gens 6, and he's overflowing, and he has T2 air. Now once he starts building some air units, I think he'll perhaps be a bit more balanced, but he hasn't even built his last Hydra. He's only building it now. So no troubles for him at all. He also has gotten units into the back, into the side expansion, which is quite vulnerable, and even killed a mechs here. Although Spaceman has quite a lot of T1 unit production, you can see Zlo with very little in comparison. His whole base has land factories filling it, and Spaceman he has some air, not much. Wonder is that transport building now? It is, yes, after those 8 inties. So a bit sloppy here, taking some damage, and he doesn't want to lose these engineers, just to pay attention. He is turning around with this guy. Also the ACU on this side. It's difficult to know where to send the ACU on a map like this because, well, it's quite open on either side, and there's not many mexes to contest really. So this is quite risky. You're very distant from your base. Actually, you're probably maybe closer to your opponent's base, and T2 air is scouted. So you gotta be very careful with your ACU here. So we already have some gunships, and UAF gunships have the beautiful ability of transportation. You can transport one unit, a T1 or a T2 unit. So if you put a lab in there, a mech marine, the mech marine, well, it's basically functions like a ghetto. Add some DPS to your gunship. You can drop engineers. You can drop pillars. A single pillar will fit in a stinger. And another unit you can build and put in there is a Sparky. And of course you can drop them, or you can also, when you're not dropping them, you can give your gunships some jamming. And maybe make it look like you have a gigantic air force. So we have a gunship rating on the top left, and we have a sneaky Sparky here with its jamming turned off, because that drains some power. And it's building a TML in the middle of the map where it can fire at the whole main base. On the top side, some raiding from this gunship is going to kill the engineers before they can get a factory up. On this side, however, the gunships are suffering versus T1 Mobile A. Actually, this one has a vet level, so it's very tanky. And it looks like he is going to lose this gunship, perhaps. Well, it'll be close. But he will have more reinforcements to send. You can see the lack of units is serious for Zlo. All he has is these gunships. And Spaceman has done well in already mixing in some anti-air, and not that much, so he may have to increase the mix there. In the eco front, he did finish that T2 mechs in the end, but that's the only T2 mechs he has. No other ones have been started. Zlo has 3, it seems, from Spaceman scouting. And if we look at the inti count, 21 to 20, so very even. Zlo's gonna have to slow down the gunship production to increase his inti production. That's exactly what he's done, actually, and now he has quite a lot of mass. He hasn't taken much damage. He has the T2 mechs advantage, hasn't taken damage on the left side yet, has his ACU there, and the TMLs are firing. Spaceman, oh, he very nearly spotted that. He saw the T2 engineer, the Sparky, but now he sees his dead HQ, or not HQ, T2 mechs. Now the rest of his base is not very, well, it's not really worth TMLing. So there's only factories and T1 mexes, although that one is upgrading. He thought this one may have been upgrading, so he aimed for this one. It wasn't though, I don't think. This one is, but there's no T2 tech whatsoever, so no option of TMD. This TML has to be killed. And actually this ACU could do it quite easily. And it looks like that's a lot of air for Zlo. He's increased his production. Once he switched to the inties from the gunships, he nearly doubled his force in maybe a minute and completely wins air. There's a lot of units coming. And Spaceman actually is using this transport quite well. He used it to expand to the left and now to attack here, but there's already gunships. There's a lot of units, well, not enough units to get through here because of the PD, but here there seems to be no units for Zlo whatsoever, which is hard to understand. Well, I suppose it's not that hard to understand. Only a few factories and more T2 mexes and gunships. Where are the gunships? They need to be brought in here to defend. We have 4 idle gunships here, and there's only maybe 3 anti-air. In this mix, there's PDs going up. Maybe we need a T2 PD as well. T2 mexes could go down. It looks like the T1 PDs are doing well. The units have actually run into range. Unfortunately for Spaceman, maybe this will be simply a mass donation, although a T2 mex has gone down, and maybe the second one will also go down. The gunships have arrived. And on this side, that's a mass donation as well for Zlo. He defends easily. PD's doing a lot of work. These T1 PDs easily paying for themselves. So no T2 PD needed, but yeah, still losing 2 T2 mexes is a bit painful, not ideal. And actually now we have, well, still only 2 kills in this TML, and it's actually firing at something over here. Maybe this factory. There are units here. The Sparky, of course, has its own weapon to shoot back at with, but it dies. And this T2 mex that Spaceman invested in has not been killed, and it doesn't look like he has any T2 still. Now many units are surrounding this PD. The PD goes down and the ACU could be under fire and in danger, but that's a lot of gunships from Zlo. What is this? 8 gunships. He's going to take some damage, but the gunships will easily take care of this army if he keeps them in range. The anti-air is dead. Zlo's lost about 5,000 HP, but he's going to vet very soon and get 1,200 back. No navy from either player. Spaceman's all about the T1 land, and Zlo is all about the T2 air. Look at the damage though. Still hasn't retaken these mexes. This whole side expansion is still dead for Zlo, except for the single mex here. And somehow this engineer got here. Maybe it was dropped by a stinger. I hope so. And now there's, well, quite a few anti-airs, but they're going to be taken out quite quickly. Once you get a nice group of gunships like this, you can target the anti-air extremely quickly, and it dies without much trouble and without any anti-air, any AOE area of effect. Then they're not very effective versus a group of gunships like this. But many inties coming in, but that looks like he's suiciding his interceptors. It would be very nice to repair some of these gunships. Actually, one goes down there. A couple have gone down, and others are quite low on HP, so some air staging would be nice. See, these guys have quite low HP. And, well, Zlo's eco not looking good at all. He hasn't replaced those T2 mexes that he lost. He does have a very large recon field all around this side here. It's a lot of mass. But he's gonna have to grab it pretty quick. Now he does have the power income definitely to use that mass quickly. I think we need some mexes assisted in their upgrades. We have 2 mexes here now, and Zlo now going to work on regaining his map control with this transport, rebuilding the Hydra, of course. #1 priority. Spaceman has decent air production, but there's no assistance here. Just adjacency. One idea on this map is put an air factory right here. Double hydro adjacency. Not often you can get that. So you ought to get it when you can. It's a rare opportunity. More huge T1 land attacks now coming. But all the units, well, now there's a lot more anti-air mixed in, which I like. Spaceman reacting well. Although he could go T2 land, he has a lot of mass here. T2 land would be a good option. So the anti-airs, you can see they die very quickly to this many gunships. But some shots miss, and also Zlo is forced to micro and target each anti-air individually before he can go after the units, and still his gunships are taking damage, and they will eventually die if not repaired. And ooh, there's two more anti-air to be killed, and we definitely have lost gunships here. You can see them. These 190 wrecks are all gunships, so again a lot of mass being left here. Spaceman doing well, got a forward factory, and he's going to try and steal this reclaim as much as he can. An ACU upgrade might be nice on Zlo. He certainly has a lot of resources. There's a lot of options here. But I think Zlo really wants to play with the gunships though. Spaceman, well, let's see. His ACU is very far forward now. Imagine a T2 ACU coming out of the ground here, out of the water, and it's like a comm drop, but you don't have to drop. You're just already there. You just walk there with your tech ACU. That would be quite cool. It could come out of the water directly into the main base and do massive damage. Of course, it would be very risky, given the air situation. Looks like Spaceman still doesn't have enough inties. This, again, not something you want to do here. Suicide interceptors for gunships, because, well, then they don't have to make more inties. They just go back to pure gunship production again, as Low is on. You have to kill the inties, and then you can kill all the gunships you want, basically. And Zlo with huge power income. AC upgrades wouldn't go straight. Spaceman, look at this forward base. He really wants this mass here, and he is trying to increase his air production, it seems, but still no T2 land. And his mechs production is not happening. He's not upgrading too many mexes. Still has superior map control, but Zlo, the whole difference in total mass, or actually more than the difference, is in the reclaim. And here comes the gun upgrade. More gunships and more T1 anti-air. It's Groundhog Day. This is almost entirely anti-air. And that's going to be a problem versus a gun ACU. It's not going to be too effective. Now an attack. And the PD goes down easily. And it looks like Zlo's going to lose this expansion again. Even if he can use his gunships, he has to spend all that time targeting down the anti-air, and while he's doing that, his whole expansion is going to die, no doubt. Now Janus for Zlo, and he's made a lot of T2 mexes with all of this reclaim. Many T2 mexes here.
Commander under attack.
And the Janus are going. Still T1 land. And so much mass. Damn. This is Low playing with his food a little. Oh. There goes the bomber. Slow surrounded by enemy anti-air. That's just nice bet for him. So the army seems to have retreated. Anti-air's going up near the front line. Another army is moving forward. There's so much T on land. It's a good thing it's on this side and not the side with the gun ACU, because there's progress to be made. These mexes are upgrading, so they're surely going to go down. Here come the Janus to try and save the day. And the gunships are here, targeting down the anti-air. Still not going to save the mexes, I'm sure. There goes. Oh, the Lobo's gonna get him. Oh no, it didn't. Oh, maybe he's gonna keep that alive. Well, there's a lot more units coming again. Still Zlo just in his little corner of the base. And still just T1 spam. So many factories, and loads of factories on the front line. How much anti-air is there now? 39. T1 anti-air. Just imagine 4 flaks or 5 flaks. Just the odd flak, you know. So much anti-air now here as well. And a lot of gunship reclaim. Nice. This T2 mech. See how much yeah, you can see how much HP it got back. It was almost dead, but when it upgraded, got about 1700 HP. It's pretty nice. And Zlo over on the other side has actually just farmed everything coming out of these factories to maximum vet level. Now with 18,000 max HP, 6,000 mass killed, this is a pretty big army that's gonna try and walk into this base. How far can it get though? How many gunships is this? 20 gunships now, 21, just constant production. Non-stop gunship production. The right side held by gunships, the left side held by 3 T1 tanks, PD, and a gun commander. Really just a gun ACU. Well, here we go. 21, more than 20 gunships versus about 20 mobile anti-air. That's a lot of clicks to kill all of those. And there goes that T2 mechs. Where are the gunships? When are they gonna enter the fray? Spaceman, I'm not sure what he's doing with his ACU. Could you, I mean, it would be so good if he had a tech ACU and just came out of the water right now. But he hasn't done that. Here come the gunships. And you see them bunching up, Zlo bunching them up to make sure they all attack the same thing and basically just instantly kill any unit that gets targeted. And because there's no AoE, obviously, there's no problem. If there's a flak, this would be awful. Still 20 anti-airs, they're not getting targeted. He's just sort of moving around, I think. He's trying to dodge some shots by moving back and forth. How many? I don't think he's lost any gunships, maybe a couple. Oh, there goes 2, 3 into the water. He is losing them. But still so many there. Damn, it's like I'm watching Brood War or something. With this kind of micro. And his base is dying now. Now it's very difficult. I don't know whether he can get to this edge of the base. But there's still no T2 PDs, and there's more units coming. And actually, Zlo now surrounded by units. All the units have run into range of these T1 PDs though, and an overcharge takes out a huge group of them. Still Zlo down on less than 7,000 HP, 6,000, 5,000, and the gunships have to be sent to the top side while his base is really under a lot of pressure. He's lost all of his core mexes. And Zlo down under 5,000 HP in the red, but the gunships save him. There's not that many gunships left. I mean, well, there's 10. He had so many, over 20, and I don't think he'd stopped producing them. He also lost his Janus. We have one that hasn't killed anything yet, and it's dead. Now he does somehow have a couple of mexes on the side here. And it looks like Spaceman just suicided all of his air again, unfortunately. Damn. Spaceman didn't suicide all of his air repeatedly. I think he'd be in a nice situation. Also, I think he built this factory and completely forgot about it. Wanted to increase his production, but never turned the factory on. Look at this, the attack into the main base. Unfortunately, the scouting is not ideal. Can't really see what's happening. That looks like a transport. A T2 transport with some units in it, and Zlo gonna get that HP back with nano repair. And now we finally do have a single T2 PD, but the PDs in front have gone down. Oh, if only there were more Lobos. With more Lobos, we could see real damage be done, but this shield, he has to get in under the shield. Has too much HP to get through for some crappy T1 tanks, especially with the Triad soon to be accompanied by a second one, and also this PD here. This energy storage would be great. A great target here. These energy storage take down the shields, take down this T2 PD, but that's a lot of mass now just left in the base. He killed many T2 mexes. Maybe, well, these are all T2 mexes. One was upgrading when it died. So that's 7 T2 mexes, but huge. 12,000 mass in the base now. Not all of it from Spaceman, a lot of it dead gunships. Dead Janus, dead units, a few dead units out of these factories. On the top side, looks like he tried to push again. This A2 almost at 10,000 mass killed now. The Janus are just dying to T1 anti-air. And yes, still. Oh, now Zlo actually stealing Spaceman's expansion and has this side as well. I think Spaceman is running out of ideas. He's now almost full T1 Mobile A army on the bottom. I do like that he has a scout mixed in there so that they can actually use their range. That's very, very good, but only anti-air. It's not going to be that effective. He's more focused on the other side, but this AC with nano and gun, I struggle to believe he can kill this with T1 land. Actually, some units dropped in the main base. Artillery. And Zlo is actually getting surrounded here. Up over 11,000 killed now. The gunship's helping to defend easily enough. The nano is going to let him get his HP back very quickly. More inti sent in to try and deal with the air. And Spaceman doesn't really have many... hasn't had many new ideas in this game. Although Zlo hasn't either. I think Janus was the last new idea. Oh, we do have air staging as well. That's pretty good. But it didn't really save many of his gunships, I think. Not sure how much the repair function got used. There's so much mass here for Spaceman. You can see he's grabbing it quite quickly, but the walls actually kind of bug out this attack move. They try and reclaim stuff and then they aren't close enough to reclaim it. So he's actually not grabbing this reclaim because of these walls. That's sad. This is low now. 35,000 HP. Oh my god. These artillery have just killed all of the pigeons around this air factory and almost killed the air factory itself as well. That's nasty. Oh, and he kills that mech as well. Not a big deal losing T1 mechs, but still not unpleasant. And Zlo just... who needs new ideas when you have some old ones? And here's the TML in the exact same place as last time. Because there's still no TMD, of course. Because there's still no T2 of any sort. T2 Max is on the front now from Zlo. Just asserting dominance. And the T1 onslaught continues.
Commander under attack.
Spaceman says he was so close. He was pretty close. What a silly game. Well, Zlo made it difficult for himself, that is for sure. I think more Lobos. He nearly destroyed Zlo's base multiple times in this game, and still somehow it looked comfortable for Zlo. That's a skill in itself. So well played, Zlo and Spaceman. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and tune in soon for another video.